Hello planters, how are you guys doing today? If you're new around here, my name is Ashley and I'm a soil scientist, and on this channel I like to take that science and apply it to all things gardening, but also houseplant care. So if you like the sounds of that, be sure to hit that subscribe button down below. You noticed by the ambiance, you've probably guessed that this is another creepy crawly video, and of course it is, because it is the first week of October. So I thought I would kick it off with a list of plants that you could have either indoors or outdoors that have a bit of a creepy side. So there's a ton of plants. My favorite spooky-esque type plants. These plants can range from something that is heavily poisonous all the way to something that just literally looks super creepy, to things that can cause you to hallucinate and have some extracurricular effects on your system. They're all over the map, they're from all over the world, and they kind of serve different purposes. I don't know, this list I'm very fond of. It took me like 2 weeks to make. I wanted to make sure I kind of covered all the bases for all the creepy crawly plants you could possibly own. If you're a huge fan of Halloween like I am, then you may want to vibe out your house or your outdoor gardens with a touch of Halloween spice. So without further ado, let's get into this creepy crawly series where we go through some of the scariest looking, but also the scariest side effect type plants. You have to let me know in the comments below which one of these are your favorites, and you also have to let me know if you own or intend to own any of these plants, because I would actually be seriously interested to hear this. I don't own any of these except for the carnivorous plants that are on this list, and that's simply because just where I'm from, it's hard to access plants, let alone get ones that cause crazy effects on your body. But you have to let me know if there's any that, you know, speak to your soul, or soulless if you're a redhead like me, as to what you would like in your life. My black cat Cole has decided to jump on the platform in which holds my camera. Oh, now he's chewing on it. This is perfect timing for Sir Cole. He decided to join in the video. Say hi, Cole. Hi. Have you been on camera before yet? I don't think you have. This is Cole. He's my oldest cat. I think he's probably 7. He's probably at least 7. I'm gonna butcher a lot of the Latin names here. I apologize. It's just in my nature to do so. Not great. Haven't been possessed. I've said it before. Not good at speaking in tongues. Just my thing. The first one is Actea pacpoda, and it is a doll's eye plant. It literally has fruit that looks like a doll's eye. It's often found in Canadian hardiness zone, so yay for Canada for having this incredibly creepy looking plant. But literally the berries on this thing look like doll's eyes or human eyes, or just like eyes in general. Super creepy. But can we just take a moment to look at the actual stem and the color of that stem? That is phenomenal. So doll's eye, creepy. No one likes dolls, no one likes eyes, but very Halloween vibe-esque. These guys are considered highly poisonous, so if you do decide to put them in your yard, make sure you have them out of reach of children and animals alike. Number 2, the corpse flower. And this flower not only is huge, like I'm talking 3 meters in height, you'd probably not want it in your house or in your yard if you got your hands on it. There are a few atriums in the world that actually have this flower in their atrium that has bloomed, and let's just say you don't want to be near it when it does bloom, because it smells like a dead body. Yep, it literally smells like a corpse, hence the name corpse flower. So the reason for the stinky smell is actually because it wants to smell like rotting meat to attract insects to help it pollinate. But what is probably the creepiest part about this plant, about this flower in general, isn't the fact that the flower is 3 meters high, and it's not even the fact that it smells like a rotting corpse. It's actually the fact that this plant can heat itself up to act or reminisce like a recently dead corpse. If that's not creepy, I don't know what is. I don't know many plants that are able to warm themselves up. That metabolic ability alone is just doesn't not my favorite. Not my favorite. But I honestly, if I owned an atrium, I'd still try to get my hands on this plant. Not gonna lie, probably not gonna put it in the house. Definitely won't live in the yard. But if I owned my own atrium, I guarantee I'd do it. Number 3 is actually pretty common, and it's the brain cactus, and it's literally the shape of it. It looks like a brain. It looks like a bunch of noodles. So this one is kind of cool because it can be an indoor plant and obviously can be an outdoor plant as well. Cacti are super easy to take care of, but this one has a bit of a different side profile, if you get what I'm saying. So the brain cacti is number 3. Number 4 is red tide algae, and this stuff is maybe not necessarily a plant, and it's not something you can own, but can we just check out the images of what an ocean can look like after a red algae bloom decides to invade the space? It literally looks like blood. And that is what definitely gets it on this list. The next one is also not a plant, it's actually a fungus, but there's a trend towards owning fungi, whether that be in an outdoor setting or in an indoor setting, and it's actually becoming more and more common. So I thought I would put this in there just in case you actually wanted to do a Halloween vibe-esque fairy garden, for example. And that is the bleeding toe fungus, and it is exactly what it sounds like. Is what it looks like. It looks like a bleeding fungus. It oozes red blood-like sap from its little holes. So that's great. It's creepy. I'll give it that. I kind of love it, and that's why it's on this list. The next one, someone actually commented this in my Chinese seeds video, and that was the giant hogweed, and someone told me to actually research this and look it up. And let me tell you, you do not want to own this in your home. You do not want to own this on your property. You wouldn't even want to own this if you had an atrium, because no one would come to visit you. The giant hogweed is an invasive species that has somehow made its way into America now. Don't know how, who knows how, but it can cause scars, burns, and even blindness. And so you're probably thinking you gotta actually touch this plant in order to suffer the ramifications of blindness. But no, you just have to be within so many meters, yes, meters of this plant to suffer the effects of blindness. So of course, this is going to make a Halloween plant list. The giant hogweed. Watch out for it, identify it, report it. This one actually is kind of funny. So I had a friend that actually sent me a photo of this recently. Robin, how you doing? And she's like, oh my gosh, look at my friend's plant. It's huge. She has this in her house. And I saw it and I immediately recognized it, and I thought, oh, this is a good one to have on the list. And that is the angel's trumpet. And you're probably thinking, well, that's kind of got like a Christmas vibe to it. And they kind of look Christmas vibe-ish, but it's the hallucination part of that plant that puts it in the Halloween category. It is famously known for being ground down and dried out and put into teas. These teas are very well known to cause hallucinations, something similar to what shrooms would cause. So while it's a beautiful tree, a huge plant, and an indoor plant at that, don't eat it. Don't let your pets eat it, and definitely do not let your children eat it, because they will start seeing things and we don't want that. So if you choose this plant for your home, choose it wisely. The next one is actually super famously known. It's located in only one entire face of the earth, and that is the Dracaena Cinebari. So the Dracaena Cinebari doesn't look like an odd plant, but when you actually cut the plant or you disturb the outer bark of this plant, it can cause red sap. This red sap looks like blood, and it's not poisonous. It's actually super healthy for you. It's commonly used in makeup and even as a food additive. So it's like a regular maple syrup. So if you're a Canadian and you want to have a bit of a Canadian twist to your maple syrup for breakfast, then maybe you should get a Dracaena Cinebari. I don't know if you can get these as houseplants. I've never seen them for sale. I've never even seen them offered online as a plant to buy from seed or anything. But if you could get your hands on it and you could grow it inside, you definitely could probably do a bonsai version of it. Apparently the sap tastes delicious and it definitely looks cool. I've done a video on this plant, and this was actually from one of the subscribers that purchased this plant. And so it's made the cut on the list, and it is because it is a jet black plant. Technically dark purple, so there's no such thing as an actual black plant, but it's a very deep purple, and that is the black magic elephant ear. The name is Halloween vibe, and the color is Halloween vibe, and just the plant in general is super gorgeous. If you're looking for like a black plant vibe, whether that's inside or out, this is a plant for you. The next one is the bat flower, also known as the Dracaena Cinebari. I'm not gonna try. It's an orchid. Anyways, the flowers on this thing are unbelievable looking. They actually look like bats in flight, and that is where that name came from. The next one is actually the Jimson weed. It's also known as the devil's snare. Yeah, that's Halloween vibe for me, and it's because of the wispy flowers, and those flowers are super pretty. So while it's a creepy named plant, I definitely like those flowers, and the flowers themselves are just like, they're Halloween vibe. They kind of like, they're just skeleton-y looking. I like it. I think it's Halloween vibe. That's just me. Next we have the dragon's lily, and I think the flower in and of itself is just self-explanatory. It's just a super bizarre looking flower. The name is very October vibe, but the actual flower itself is just bizarre looking, and that's why it's made this list. It looks very similar to the corpse flower, but like a mini version of it. So if you don't want the stank but you like the look, then this would be the option you'd want to go with. I had to put wolfsbane on here, and that's just because that's a super classic Halloween plant. If you don't know the folklore behind wolfsbane, it's made to ward off werewolves. So I thought it was kind of neat. I had to put it in here. I thought, well, maybe people don't even know that this is a real plant. It is. It's after a real plant. It's not just in werewolf fairy tales. It's an actual thing that does grow. So wolfsbane did make the cut. We then have the Dracula orchid. So this is the second orchid on the list, and this one has to do with the flower. Again, the flower, it kind of looks like Dracula's fangs. Like it's a very vampire type vibe. The second last one is the Octopus stinkhorn. That's the name of it. And this one isn't so much, well, the look of it is odd. It definitely is like something out of like an alien movie, but it actually hatches out of an egg type looking organ that then turns into these tentacles. So it looks like it's straight out of a sci-fi movie. I saw this plant and I immediately like burst out laughing. I was like, wow, this is like something off a different planet. But the Octopus stinkhorn that is on the list of one of the top Halloween vibe type of plants you can get for your garden. The last one, and probably my hands down absolute favorite, personally, I would love to grow this plant in my garden. I would love to grow this plant in my house, literally anywhere, and it is called the ghost pipe plant. And it is in and of itself is just a bizarre plant from a metabolical standpoint, in exactly like how this plant grows, how it survives, how it photosynthesizes, how it gains its energy. In and of itself, it's just a mystery unto its own. But the actual look of this plant is just, it literally looks like a ghost plant. Like, it is so beautiful. It is whiter than white, and due to this really light coloration and lack of chlorophyll, there's literally no chlorophyll in this plant. Yeah, that's weird. I know it's weird. And that's what makes it so hard to grow in a collector's garden. It needs near to no sunlight, and if it receives any sunlight, it tends to burn. So it is actually found in the darkest corners of the forest across North America. And yeah, it's just, look at the photos of this thing. They're just beautiful. They're just beautiful plants. I don't know. I'm completely taken with them. I've known about them for years. You can never grow them. I heard they're absolutely impossible even to get your hands on, let alone keep them alive. It's just, they're so gorgeous. So you're probably wondering, well, if it doesn't have chlorophyll, how does it work? And the way it works is actually via a parasitic relationship with mycorrhizal fungi. So it's a combination of a plant, and then it actually uses mycorrhizal fungi to gain its energy. That's why the plant is so petite and so small. It does not grow very big, but it is technically still a plant. It is not a fungus. It is still considered a plant. So besides the carnivorous plants of the world, which I'm going to be doing a video all unto itself on, because some of you have asked for Nepenthes or Pensis or a Venus flytrap video, I'm going to be doing a carnivorous plant in general video for you guys this October. So I didn't want to include the carnivorous plants in this. I do own quite a few carnivorous plants, but I thought I'd give you something a little bit different to look at. Whether you're going to own these plants or not, that's up to you. Would you take the risk? I don't know. Some of them I definitely would. Others, probably not. Probably not. But I'm wishing you guys a very happy and safe October, Halloween, Thanksgiving. Make sure you enjoy the fruits of your labor from your garden, whether you canned them or you've just picked your fruits and veggies. Whatever the case is, make sure you enjoy them. Make sure you share them with your close-knit group of 10 people. Still practicing safe distancing and all that fun stuff. And I will talk to you guys next time. Bye.